Gonna try out a camera setup here that doesn't magnet through my headliner. So I have it just strapped to the top passenger seat. See how it works. So it's just going for a drive, and see how this camera setup works. So I should be able to possibly do a check of a 0 to 60 or something like that. There's a spot where I can do that. But the motor is running great, and the valve cover issue that I had went away. So currently I've got pretty much everything working properly, and I had just a couple things left to do. Windshield washer, there is none in terms of the switch, the hose, and all that stuff. The windshield washer is not hooked up. The speaker here for the front mono speaker is not there yet. I have to fabricate a little bracket. My spare tire is still flat, so I'm gonna have to figure that one out. And this switch doesn't connect to anything yet. So I don't know if that's going to ever, but maybe I'll connect that to something. I'm trying to think. That's pretty much it. Oh, my my ammeter and voltmeter gauges are not connected. So I think that the voltmeter is easy because all I have to do is connect that into one of the live voltage things. But the ammeter, I think, is harder to do, so I have to look up how to wire that. As far as headliner, bench, seats, carpets, that's all good. As far as the trunk area with the trunk carpet, trunk liner, all that is good. As far as the wiring and everything, that's all good. The motor is good. The synchro mesh is all good, except that it's second gear just is a little bit rough going into it as far as synchro mesh goes, but it still works pretty well. That I normally would do a 0 to 60 on, but I'm not going to be able to do it with the way this is unless it turns yellow right now. Yeah. So I'll try it. Maybe this is a little bit downhill, so I get a cheating slightly better time if I do 0 to 60 off of that light. But we'll see. There's another light up here, and it's a 45-mile-an-hour zone, so I can, go up to 60 without doing too much speeding. But so you can hear, the one thing that's interesting on this motor is you can hear the thumps of the, it's a 4-cylinder motor. You can hear the thumps of the explosions in. When I press that fourth gear, it has a very healthy, deep sound with each combustion in the cylinders. Like, listen to that, and very smooth. And with the transaxle being a stock Beetle transaxle for a 1300, right? And then I have like 100 or 110 horsepower or something like that, whatever this 1968 cc has. It winds up being a ridiculously fast car. You know, it's just got good power, and it's a light car. You know, I don't know what the car weighs. I'd be curious to actually weigh it, but you know, now that I have everything in there, spare tire and a bunch of the dynamat and everything, right? It probably weighs, you know, what a stock 61 Beetle would weigh. I have one other interesting issue, which is that my steering is not centered, and so if I turn it all the way one way, I can actually make the tire rub against the little it's really like the seam of the heater channel that would hit the tire. It's this right front tire. If I turn it all the way in like this, the back of it can touch the heater channel seam. So that's one thing that's a little bit annoying. And what I really need to do is just take the whole tie rod setup and just loosen it on the driver's side and tighten it on the, loosen it on the passenger side, tighten it on the driver's side. So, all right, well, this one is, I can do 0 to 60 here and see what happens. So let's see, I'll just do it, and then I'm gonna say when it's 60 because you probably can't see it. What that is, that's 60 is really at the very top of third gear. So you know, I don't normally rev it up over 4,000 RPM ever or anything. So you know, that's sort of since I built the motor, I kind of like to be nice to it. I don't want to rebuild it or anything, but you know, you got to test. That's about as fast as I can get to 60. The very beginning of that stop from the stoplight is uphill, and then it's a little downhill. So you know, whether that's a true 0 to 60 or not, I don't know, but we'll see if it's under 10 seconds. Maybe it's under 10 seconds. So I have a stopwatch video in a video segment that I can put in the lower right hand corner. So by the time this is out there somewhere, you know, I'll have that in there, and then I'll freeze it when I yelled the word 60, and we're gonna see what's the actual time there. I think the guy behind me in the Dodge Charger is wondering, because I did that 0 to 60. He's looking at me like a crazy dude in the Beetle. But I mean, this motor, it sounds so good. And it feels good. I mean, in terms of the smooth power going through, it feels really good. Sounds good. You know, if I'm in fourth gear going 50 miles an hour, right? So that's not pressing. So you know, it's a fun amount of power for a light car like this, and you know, but it's funny, you know, you compare, say, my Honda Odyssey is apparently it's like 4,500 pounds, and the bus is like 2,500 pounds. And this car is like 1,500 or 1,700 pounds or something. It's very, very light. So you just don't need very much engine to make a really light car, you know, feel fast. It's like a motorcycle or something. Like, you just don't need much power. And so this car will make you grin with 100 horsepower. But if you had that in a Honda Odyssey, right, it would be slow as a dog. like fourth gear, 50 miles an hour, going uphill. I have no trouble accelerating. And I can remember with the bus, when I first got the bus, and it was so underpowered that if I was going 40 to 45 up a hill, it would slow down because of the hill. Now with the 2332, I have no problems in the bus. But now with the 1968cc in this car, like, it'll accelerate up any hill. At any speed, it'll accelerate up any hill, really. So, I used to drive down this windy road when I was in high school, and there wasn't much developed here, and it was kind of a fun road. Now there's too many neighbors. There are any parking spaces here. Doesn't look like it. Okay, well, I will shut off the camera now and